Hello everyone, and welcome once again to the PPV review, and I am your host, the Lunatic Ginge, as always. And this is now the second audio version of the PPV review, and we're moving on to Money in the Bank, which is kind of coincidental, seeing as we just came off Money in the Bank in current times, but now we're going back the years and going to 2012, and we get the typical opening package, and we get a trip through memory lane as we look at all the previous cash-ins of the Money in the Bank. We get 2 Money in the Bank matches tonight, which means a lot more money. Phoenix, Arizona is where we are tonight, and we start off hot with one of the Money in the Bank matches, and this one is for the World Heavyweight Championship match. So the first guy out is my favourite, Dolph Ziggler, and you know I still love him. And then we get Santino. Yep, Santino is out next. So in 2 pay-per-views, he's gone from a tuxedo match with Ricardo Rodriguez to a Money in the Bank match. Yep. Cody Rhodes is also in this match, as is Damien Sandow. Tyson Kidd is also here too, and he's just here for a spots, I should think, because he was in a tag team with Justin Gabriel last month, and now he's in a Money in the Bank match. Very strange. El Boccio, Mr. Sin Cara, is also here, as is Tensai, and I think it's the first time we've seen Tensai about. Christian is here as well. Which means, and then we are going to get off, and away we go, and we get a big clusterfuck, as we always do, as just people just start beating up on each other. Tensai takes everyone out at the start of the match, hits an uppercut on Christian, who was jumping off the top rope for nothing. He just does that like how wrestlers do when they're going to get hit from the top rope. They just jump. It doesn't look like they're doing any move whatsoever. Tensai catapults Kid into a ladder. He then He then gets hit with ladders by Tyson Kidd and Christian. Christian and Santino go up the ladder. Kid climbs up as well. Sandow pushes everyone off. Ziggler drop kicks Sandow off of the ladder, which would look really cool. Cody and Ziggler then go at it, which, to be fair, would probably be a really cool match. Now, the botch that this match is known for, after Sin Cara takes both Cody and Ziggler out, he jumps up to give Dolph a superplex, but he loses balance and both of them just fall off, and it just looks horrible. Kid then goes to powerbomb Sin Cara, but he rolls over and puts Kid into a pin, even though this is a ladder match and pinfalls don't count. Did anyone actually tell Sin Cara this was a ladder match? I'm not sure. Anyway, Sin Cara gets pushed off of the top rope onto the floor by Christian, and then Christian goes for a frog splash on Tyson Kidd, but he rolls out of the way. Cody hits Sandow with a disaster kick. Cody and Kidd then go at it. Kidd climbs up, but Tensai brings him down. Santino tries to climb, but Tensai looks to powerbomb him. Santino falls off Tensai awkwardly. It's not really a powerbomb, it's just another botch, really. That's the second one of the night. Kid and Tensai go over the top rope. Sandow now climbs up, but then Sin Cara stops him. He climbs up again, but Christian stops him. These two go at it. Christian then spears Sandow into the ladder. Christian then climbs up, but Dolph and Cody both take him off. Tensai then takes out Cody and Dolph. Kid jumps onto the ladder, but he's knocked off. Tensai is by himself, but until Santino and Sin Cara come in and knock him off, or try to knock him off, but Tensai takes out the both of them. Christian hits Tensai with the ladder. Santino and Dolph now. Cobra by Santino. Santino climbs, but he is afraid of heights, obviously. Just like R-Truth, hey? Cody Rhodes drop kicks the ladder. Cody climbs, but Vicky Guerrero, who's obviously at ringside with Dolph, climbs up too. Ziggler capitalizes on this. He starts climbing. I thought this was going to be the end of the match, but then Christian stops him. Cody and Ziggler on the ladder. Sandow has a smaller ladder, and Kid is on the top rope. Kid uses another ladder to get over to Ziggler and does a sunset flip and power bombs in midair, and it was a really cool spot. Tenzai undresses the table and sets up the ladder from the apron to the table, and Tenzai powerbombs Sin Cara on the ladder, but it doesn't go through. He just bounces off. I don't really think that was meant to happen. Tenzai throws Dolph over the announce table, and he lands on a chair upside down. It's really weird. 2 disaster kicks to Tenzai by Cody Rhodes, and they make him lay on the ladder that is kind of, strung between the apron and the announce table. Cody and Kid then climb the ladder in the ring. Christian and Santino show up too. Christian jumps from one ladder to another ladder and takes out Cody, and they call it a spear, but it wasn't really a spear. Christian and Santino are now on the ladder. Christian knocks Santino off. Ziggler speeds up the ladder, throws Christian off, and then, hallelujah, Dolph Ziggler wins Money in the Bank. Get in. Thank God for that. And this wasn't an awful Money in the Bank ladder match, but there wasn't enough star power in it. It's obvious this was the mid-card Money in the Bank match. It was obvious that, and it was also obvious that Dolph was probably going to win. And at the end of the match, Dolph shouts, "It's about damn time," and I definitely agree. We cut to Mr. TNA, Josh Matthews, and he's with Sheamus, who wants to talk about Del Rio, and it's just a pretty boring promo by Sheamus. We cut to the Miz's music, and he is returning, and I didn't really notice. He comes out and says he was shouting, he was shooting movies, and he reminds us he won a WWE title. Thanks, I just got that out of my memory. Now he's bringing it back up again. It's like, damn. And now we get a promo package for Sheamus and Del Rio, and the only thing I can take from it is Destiny. Thanks, Del Rio. We get into this one, and I don't really have any interest in it at all. Del Rio says he's going to break Sheamus' arm. We get a brawl to start. It's so very boring. Sheamus is in control. Suplex from Sheamus leads to the battering ram. Del Rio takes control and focuses on the arm. There's no heat control. There's no heat at all. Del Rio was literally in control for like 5 to 10 minutes. Just so boring. He was just working on the arm. But sometimes you think working on the arm, like actually someone working on a body part, is quite interesting. Like the tactics of it. But just Del Rio was just so boring. Especially as Sheamus was hardly selling it at all. Sheamus fights back, but then Del Rio gains control. Yawn. Sheamus fights back again. 10 shots by Sheamus. Irish Curse backbreaker for 2. Bro kick misses. Del Rio hits the backstabber, which is kind of weird. It's like that's Carlito's move for a 2 count. Funny botcher. Sheamus is meant to duck the Enziguri in the corner, but he doesn't. And Del Rio's foot just goes flying over Sheamus' head, and then a second later, Sheamus ducks. White noise, but no pin. Just goes straight to the bro kick, and Sheamus wins and retains. Boring match and a boring champion. After the match, Del Rio jumps him. We want Ziggler chance to come out, but Del Rio destroys Sheamus. Ziggler comes out with his Money in the Bank briefcase. He beats up Del Rio and turns around, but gets hit by a brogue from Sheamus, which means no match, no cash in. We now get an interview with Josh Matthews and Daniel Bryan. He talks about AJ. Why wouldn't he talk about the title? But he talks about AJ instead. I don't think Daniel Bryan realizes at this point in the future he gets to marry Brie Bella. Why should he bother about AJ? Tag champs Kofi and R-Truth come out. Cole says that they are on the pre-show. The champs beat Hunico and Camacho, but now we get a match with no titles. What the fuck is going on? AW, the star of last month's pay-per-view, comes out with PTP, and then ole, it's those Puerto Rican matadors, Primo and Epico. So we have PTP versus Primo and Epico for no apparent reason. AW has a mic headset throughout this match, so he's continuously talking throughout it. Yep, this happens. We get a nice scissors from Primo. Epico jumps to the outside on everyone. Titus wrecks Epico. The PTP only know one tag move still. It's that suplex where Titus picks up Darren Young like he's just suplexing him, but then drops him on the opponent. Fall away slam by Titus. Boring match, really. Primo rolls up Darren Young for the win. Yeah, that would be the end of this match. But actually, I want to talk about Mr. AW for a minute. And the reason I had no clue who he was because he gets released in about a month. He was only here for 2 months, really. And he made some comments on the air which made him get released. On a Raw during a match with Titus and Kofi, AW said, Titus O'Neil is like Kobe Bryant at a hotel room in Colorado. He's unstoppable. Which is obviously a reference to Kobe Bryant's sexual assault allegations, and he's just such a fucking idiot. Why would you say that live on air? And he's soon got released after that. We get a promo package for Punk versus Bryan. Oh, sorry, I mean AJ versus AJ versus AJ versus AJ. I've had enough of this, to be honest. And then Matt Striker interviews the main star of this match, AJ Lee. You remember my moaning from last week, so I don't need to go over it again. But here we go. We get Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk for the WWE title. And I am excited, to be fair. I am excited for the match, not the storyline. DB is wearing some sort of weird coat that's got blood down the back of it. It's really weird. CM Punk, once again, not headlining a pay-per-view. And yes, despite AJ, I am excited for this. Kicks and holds to start off. Such a great start. I do like that sort of start. And we've been notified that it's a no DQ match, which gives AJ a lot less to do. Backbreaker by Punk. More kicks by Bryan. Suicide dive out to Bryan from Punk. They head out to the ramp. King's worried more about AJ than the match, which isn't a surprise. Bryan pushes Punk into the ropes and knocks AJ out. Knocks AJ off of the apron. So, yep, that's already done early in the match. Bryan takes control and a new ref replaces AJ. Suplex onto the steps. Punk jumps off the barricade and clotheslines Bryan. Bryan gets a kendo stick out. He misses Punk. Punk tries to springboard onto him, but Bryan hits him with the kendo stick. And hits him a lot with the kendo stick and gets a 2 count. Flying headbutt attempt, but that misses. Kicks and punches by both of them. A neck breaker by Punk for 2. High running knee into a power slam. The GTS is reversed into a Hurricane Rana pin combo that gets a 2 count. More kendo shots. Awesome surfboard stretch, which I love, because Daniel Bryan's like the only one who does it really nowadays. Punk grabs the kendo stick and smacks Bryan a lot. Superplex by Bryan. And then we get AJ coming back out. She gets a chair out. She puts it in the middle of the ring and she goes, go on then, someone go for it. And both of them go for it. But Bryan gets to it first. And he hits Punk again a lot. This is a really, really rough match. 2 count. Bryan argues with AJ over the count. Punk rolls him up, but only gets a 2 count. Bryan kicks Bryan kicks him so hard, and it goes on for so long. And AJ, they put the camera on AJ, and she looks really, really upset. Punk clotheslines Bryan. Punk does the chair shots now. Punk puts the chair in the corner, but AJ stands in front of it, stopping anybody from going into it. Punk argues with her, and Bryan dropkicks Punk into the chair. Bryan goes for the kendo stick, but AJ steps on it. Punk capitalizes. Top rope elbow on the chair, misses. I thought that was going to hit, but it missed. Exciting. Yes lock is locked in. I was like, oh my god. Punk uses then the kendo stick to break free, and then catapults Bryan into the ring post. And we get GTS, and then Bryan kicks out. I was actually shocked. I did not expect it. I did not see it coming at all. I thought that was going to be the end of the match for sure. Punk grabs a table. Bryan is put on the table. Bryan gets off the table and stops Punk from jumping. Bryan looks for a Hurricane Rana off the top through the table, but Punk slides away. But then we get a back suplex off the top rope through the table, covered by Punk, and he retains. Awesome match, awesome match. I'm pretty sure this is up there for the best match of the whole 2012 so far. It's definitely up there. I mean, I think the other one was pretty close up there as well. I think this is just a bit better than their first match that they had because it's no DQ and it's so much rougher. It's unbelievable. We now get Kurt Hawkins and Tyler, who's going to get wrecked, versus Ryback. So here we go again. What do you think will happen? Yep, he destroys them. Feed him a decent opponent, please. Then we get an advert for this social media thing called Tout. I have no clue what this is. I was like, was this something big in 2012 that I missed completely? But obviously it didn't stay very long because no one knows what it is now. And now we get the Divas. And no Divas title match. We get a six-woman tag match. We get the Divas champion Layla teaming with Caitlyn. I think that's the first time we've seen Caitlyn. And Tamina. They face Beth Phoenix, Natalia, and Eve Torres. After the last two matches, I thought I'd somehow changed the pay-per-view. It's gone from Money in the Bank to a Raw. I was like, because we've gone from a squash match to a six-woman tag. We get Caitlyn versus Beth, which actually would have been a good feud, I thought. It breaks down, of course, as all six-women tags, do. And the finish comes when Layla pins Beth after she hits her with a neck breaker once again. That's happened like the last 2 or 3 pay-per-views. And now we get to the Money in the Bank title match. We get this, and this is Kane versus Jericho versus the returning Miz versus Big Show versus Brappadoo himself, John Cena. This match sure has stars, but I'm still not excited for it because it's very, very obvious who's going to win. We start it, and it's obviously how all Money in the Bank matches started, like the other one before. Miz climbs up, but Cena stops him. Big Show takes out everyone. Kane and Big Show brawl. Hey, what a fight that could be. We love Kane versus the Big Show. Code Breaker by Jericho early on Big Show. Cena then undresses the table and AA Show through the table. Everyone buries Show with ladders, which is kind of funny. There's like 6 or 7 ladders buried on top of Big Show. Jericho climbs up, but the Miz stops him. Walls of Jericho to Miz. Miz is Irish whipped into a ladder. Kane throws a ladder and hits Miz. I thought that was cool. Kane climbs up, but Jericho stops him. Double suplex to Kane. 10 knuckle shuffle to Jericho and Miz. And then we get an AA to Kane. Big Show is suddenly woken up from all of this. He snaps the ladder in half, literally, and then attacks Jericho with it. Show and Cena then go at it. Big Show hits the outside and gets an absolutely massive ladder that's covered in gold as well. It looks really cool. He gets that out from underneath the ring. He climbs up on it. Kane then climbs up on it. KO punch to Kane. Cena climbs up, but then he's knocked off. Jericho, with a chair in his hands, hits Show, and he's fallen off. Cena and Jericho climb up. Brawl on top of the ladder, really cool. Jericho gets a sleeper in on Cena while he's on the back of him. Miz climbs up but gets knocked off. Cena is then pushed off by Jericho. Miz climbs back up again, and we get Miz and Jericho fighting on the briefcase pretty much. Jericho gets pushed, but he holds onto the cable. Kind of swings back and forward. Big Show climbs up. KO punch to Jericho, and then the Miz as well. Cena's back up. KO punch is blocked because Cena puts the briefcase in front of his face. He starts using the briefcase as a weapon, but when he goes to smash Big Show in the face, the briefcase comes free. Lol, Cena wins. Brappadoo. And yeah, this is a lot shorter than previous pay-per-views have been, I think, because there was just so much boring stuff that there was just not much to include. I mean, it was really... I mean, to be fair to it, I think it is better than No Way Out, but only a bit. And it's really not saying something that you're better than No Way Out 2012. Now we move on to the MVP and the match of the night. Match of the night was an obvious one. I think you can all figure it out. It was Punk versus Bryan, as it was just the only good match on the card, really. I mean, the Money in the Bank matches were okay, I guess. World Heavyweight Championship match was disappointing, and then everything else was utter crap. I mean, there wasn't really much else, was there? To be fair. And yeah, it was the best match that I've had so far, I'd say. So yeah, the MVP is going to be either one of those two again, isn't it? But this time I think I'm going to give it to Daniel Bryan, mainly because he was a little better in his acting, and like his acting towards AJ, and his like intensity when he was kicking Punk. It was really cool. And his just moveset was just a little bit better today. So there we go. Another pay-per-view review done. This one was a bit shorter, I apologise for that, but there was not much material there to work with. I mean, you've got the two Money in the Bank ladder matches, but they're such clusterfucks, you're not sure what to include. But anyway, so thank you all for watching. I'd really like you, if you could, to subscribe to this YouTube channel. It really helped me out trying to get this up and running. I know, and if you have any thoughts on either the pay-per-view or the review in general, please feel free to either comment on the YouTube video in the comments or on the Brendan Plays forum, where this will also be posted. I think I'm going to actually try and put these reviews on SoundCloud, so if you just want the audio and you want to listen to it on your phone, because I'm pretty sure SoundCloud have an app, you can listen to it on the go there as well. But yeah, so if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe, and then if you're on the forums, positive rep it if you want, because that's all the rage nowadays, and I love my reputation points. If you're listening to this and you know nothing of Brendan Plays forums or nothing of Brendan Plays, go check him out on his YouTube channel, Brendan Plays, or join the forums at brendanplays.com/forums. Yes, I remembered the link this time. So yeah, next time we've got our one of the big four pay-per-views, I think. Big old SummerSlam, and all I know really about this is that the poster has got Brock Lesnar's face on it. So that's all I know. But anyway, saying the next is SummerSlam might not actually be true. I might be telling a bit of a lie there, because I've got to figure it out. I'm not sure when Raw 1000 is, but I know on Raw 1000 John Cena cashes in his Money in the Bank. So I will look up when that is. So if it's before SummerSlam, I will review Raw 1000 and all of its hijinks before SummerSlam. So that will be an extra bonus episode, if you will. So I will either see you for SummerSlam or I'll see you for Raw 1000. But thank you for listening and taking the time to listen to the pay-per-view review. I've been the Lunatic Ginge, and I will see you next time.